Hello everyone, my name is Olga and you're on my channel Happy Look. Today we are going to sew this wonderful bag together. I have 3 pairs of old jeans and let's quickly cut them into pieces and see what we get. So I have cut out 2 square pieces for the bag. The size is 39 by 36 centimeters. Let's measure and cut out square corners above the button, measuring 6 by 6 centimeters on both pieces. Sometimes I'll speed up the video. Here is what we have. Now let's take a closer look at these small strips. They are all the same width, 1.5 centimeters. And different lengths ranging from 5 to 8 centimeters approximately. To cut these strips, you should use one of the following techniques. Either cut them all on the on grain of the denim fabric, in which case the edges will be wide, or cut them all widthwise, in which case the edges will be the color of the denim, or cut them on the bias, in which case the edges won't fray but they will have a twist. This is important. The cutting method should be consistent for all the strips. Choose only one approach. Along the edges of this piece, we'll leave 1 centimeter for seam and mark vertical lines at a distance of 1 centimeter. We will stitch our strips along these lines. We have 3 colors and we will alternate them. Right now, we are moving from top to bottom, and each subsequent strip will go under the previous one, like this. Now we will move from bottom to top and put the strips on top of the previous ones. Don't worry if you sew through the edges of the adjacent row. You can easily unpick them later. Again, we move from top to bottom and put the strips under the previous ones. Continue across the entire piece. I finished sewing the strips and now we need to fray the edges. We'll use a sieve brush. We fray the edges that got cut in the seam. Cut off the excess. We need to go over all the strips. Where the edges are not frayed enough, we pull out the threads. There is a lot of work, of course, but it's worth it for this result. To improve the frayed look, we'll wash our fabric pieces. To prevent the machine from getting filled with debris, we'll wash them in a special bag or pillowcase. Stitch up the pillowcase here. Here are our parts after washing. Let's continue fraying. Remove any loose threads. Now let the fabric pieces dry, while we begin to work on the lining. Since we are recycling, for the lining I'll use an old sport short. I'll cut them out just like the parts of the bag. So I have two pieces measuring 39 by 36 centimeters. And I'll need an additional two strips measuring 39 by 8 centimeters, which I'll sew on top. Here is the second lining piece. I've already cut out corner squares measuring 6 by 6 centimeters for the back's bottom. This is the second piece for the top of the lining. Here I'll attach a pocket. And this will be an inner pocket made from other sport shorts. The size of this piece is 26 by 40 centimeters. And I have also taken a zipper from an unwanted bag. So, I sew on the lining top and right here at a depth of 10 centimeters I'll sew a pocket. It's done. Now let's work on the inner pocket on the second lining piece. I'll place this part 5 cm below the top edge and mark a rectangle with dimensions of 22 by 1 cm at a depth of 9 centimeters. We'll stitch it around. Now we'll cut it along in the center and make small notches on the corners. Turn it inside out and press it. We'll sew in the zipper. Stitch a pocket around. It's convenient to do it from this side. The pocket is finished. Excellent. Now we need to sew these two pieces together. Measure 12 centimeters in the center. We'll leave an opening here to turn it inside out. And here we will sew, and here, and here. This is what we have got. Let's stitch the corners. Here is 12 centimeters. We'll stitch it closed. Do the same on the other side. Our lining is ready. It turned out great. The pockets. Here is the opening for turning it inside out. This is like a surprise pocket. Didn't have to fuss with it. Super! So our pieces have dried. I've already checked all the strips, trimmed or pulled out any loose threads where necessary. I like how them turned out. The height of the fabric pieces is 35 centimeters. And the height of the lining is 36 centimeters. I don't want to trim the lining. I've decided to increase the height of the bag. For that, I'll attach these strips 3 centimeters wide. It also makes it easy for me to sew the handles. My sewing machine is not very powerful and doesn't like thick fabrics. This is what I've got. Height is 36 centimeters. Let's start assembling the back. Stitch here, here and here. Stitch the corners. Now let's work on the handles. I've cut out two pieces on grain, measuring 51 by 10 centimeters. Fold them in half and stitch along the edges for the entire length. Turn them inside out, press them, fold them in half again. Measure 5 cm from each edge and stitch between the marks. Let's go back to our bag. Everything looks great here. Measure 12 cm in the center and pin the handles. On the sides, I'll sew the denim belt loops to attach a long handle later, if desired. sew it all together. It's done. Now we need to sew in the lining. Attach it with the pins and stitch. Now stitch the corners of the bottom together and finally turn it inside out. I think I should have left a couple of extra centimeters. Ta-da! It worked. Voila! Now we just need to sew up this opening. It looks good. Let's stitch around here as well. I finished the back. Here I have sewn a magnetic clasp. I really like the inside. The fabric is very practical and the pockets are very convenient. Here this pocket is very handy, really cool. The back measures 36 by 34 centimeters. It's soft, just as I want it. It will wash well and get better. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.